Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive. We're looking at the core ideas of Confucius today, straight from the sources you've brought specifically, this Art Eno translation of the Analects.
Right, and our mission here is really to, cut through all the layers and quickly pull out the most important bits, the surprising insights from this really foundational text. It's all tailored for you.
Think of it like a shortcut, maybe. Getting the essential wisdom without having to wade through the whole thing yourself.
Exactly.
And it's worth remembering, Confucius himself, born way back in 551 BCE, he didn't actually write this book down.
That's a key point. The Analects is more like a collection, sayings and stories gathered over time by his students, his followers. So it's kind of an evolving picture of him and his ideas.
And those ideas, well, they're complex. Concepts like Ren, the Genzi, the Tao, Lai, they're debated even within the text itself.
Absolutely. But we'll try and get to the heart of what they mean and maybe why they still matter.
So let's jump right in. At its core, what was Confucius actually teaching? It seems to be about this lifelong pursuit.
Yeah, the pursuit of the Tao, the way. And crucially, doing that by cultivating your own character.
It's not just book learning, then.
Not at all. The very first passage points this out. The real pleasure is studying and then actually putting it into practice consistently.
Like Master Zhang, examining himself daily.
Right, on loyalty, trustworthiness, and whether he practiced what he learned. It's constant self-work.
And there's that balance he talks about. Study without reflection is, well, useless, but reflection without study is dangerous. You need both.
This blend. He taught things like conduct, loyalty, faithfulness, right alongside, cultural patterns and literature.
What's also interesting is what he apparently didn't talk about.
Oh yeah, the text is quite specific. No strange occurrences, no feats of strength, political gossip, or spirits. His focus was really intensely human. On character, how we interact.
Which leads us nicely to the Yunzi, this ideal person. So what is a Yunzi?
Well, one thing is, they aren't a narrow specialist, a vessel for just one task. They're meant to be versatile, broadly capable.
And inclusive, right, not partisan, welcoming different views.
Yes, and this is fundamental. They align themselves with what's right, which is this concept yay, rather than just what's profitable. That tension comes up again and again.
So it's an internal compass, but it shows externally too.
Definitely. They're described as slow to speak, but quick to act. Actions over words. And there's a balance between their inner substance and their outward refinement, their when. The Junzi needs both.
And maybe counterintuitively, they can remain unsoured, happy even, if their talents aren't recognized.
That's right. Their worth isn't dependent on external validation. It's internal.
Okay, let's dig into those key terms, Ren. That seems central. Often comes benevolence or humaneness.
It is central and very complex, but the text gives clues. Filiality, Zhao being good to your parents and elders, is called its root.
So it starts at home.
It seems so. But here's a really powerful bit. Confucius says it's not far away. When I wish to be Ren, Ren arrives. It's attainable.
How? Is there a method?
He gives something like a practical approach. Wanting yourself to, say, have access or be established, you then help others get access or become established. You work by analogy from yourself, from what's nearest.
Ah, so it's about extending your own needs and understanding outwards.
Exactly. It's quite grounded, really, not some mystical state.
Okay, what about Leah, the rituals?
Leah refers to the traditional rites and institutions, the forms of the Zhou dynasty. Harmony is valued when using Li, but your conduct still has to be guided by Li.
And he preferred frugality over extravagance and rituals.
Yes. But here's the crucial link. What good is Li, all these outward forms, if you don't have Ren inside? Confucius implies not much good at all.
They have to go together.
They're intertwined. Remember that story where he goes into the Grand Temple and asks about every single detail?
Yeah, and someone questions him, like, doesn't the master know Li?
And he just says, that is Lei. It suggests understanding and enacting the details as the practice. But it only has meaning if it comes from a place of Ren.
You make sense. And trustworthiness, Resin, that pops up too.
Vital. For individuals, being trustworthy with friends is stressed, but also for government. How can people trust the state if it isn't trustworthy?
You see these principles in how Confucius himself operated, apparently.
Yeah, the text says he learned about other states just by being, himself friendly, direct, respectful, frugal, modest. People just told him things. His character opened doors.
He also had this sense of connection to Tian, heaven, believing it protected his virtue.
Yet, interestingly, when he was ill and a disciple wanted to offer formal prayers, Confucius kind of suggested his own ongoing prayer or way of living was perhaps enough, a very personal sense of connection.
And he wasn't afraid to call people out, was he? Even powerful ones or his own students?
Not at all. He criticized a powerful figure for misusing Lei. He famously got exasperated with his disciple Zai Yu for napping, saying it changed how he judged people.
Right, he said something like, rotten wood can't be carved.
Exactly. And he even told Zhigang, a very capable disciple, that he hadn't yet mastered the negative golden rule, not doing to others what you wouldn't want done to you. He demanded genuine effort towards these ideals.
So pulling this all together, why should you, listening now, care about these ancient snippets?
Well, because they offer really practical advice, I think. Guidance on building your own character, how to interact with people authentically, how to find your way.
The focus on sincerity over just putting on a show, substance over style, constant learning.
These are timeless, aren't they? And that idea of learning from watching others, both the good examples and the bad ones, is something you can literally do today. Observe and reflect.
So hopefully this deep dive gives you a bit of a shortcut into some profound and sometimes quite surprising ideas from Confucius.
Definitely. And maybe just a final thought to leave you with from the text. Virtue is never alone. It always has neighbors.
Something to think about, how striving for that inner goodness, that Ren, might naturally connect you to others around you.